Real quick, just stepping in to remind everyone that I have a movie channel. Check out my movie channel if you want. It's Jackson Kruger Movies. The link is in the description below, so if you're tired of just hearing my bad sports takes and want to also hear some bad movie takes, make sure you check that out. Again, link is in the description below. All right, let's do the top 10 list that you all want to see. This is the one that we always talk about, top 10 interior offensive linemen. Listen, God bless you. We're the real football fans talking in the middle of the offseason about who are the best interior offensive linemen. Hey, I enjoy doing it. Let's just get into the list, starting off with number 10. Number 10, I went with Quentin Nelson here, someone who, for Nelson, I think we all thought he was going to be like the best in the league and he'd be like number one consistently for a while in terms of interior offensive linemen, and it just didn't quite work out that way. I feel like after the 2020 season, we have seen his play take a bit of a dip. I still think even kind of accepting the fact, okay, maybe he's just not going to be that guy who we thought he would be after his first 3 years. He's still a really good player and still probably worth, being on the list. I just can't put him that much higher, though, so he's number 10. Number 9 is Joel Patano here. Don't think I said his name right. I never say his name right. I try. I'm sorry, Joel. It's a tough name to pronounce. People always correct me in the comments. I apologize. But part of what's frustrating is that I keep having to try to pronounce his name because of how good he has consistently been. He has usually been towards the top of the list, usually a lot higher on the list. I think that this was a bit of a down season for him, so that's kind of why you're a little bit lower. And when you're 32 and you're coming off a down season, like that's going to matter more than when you're 25 and coming off of a down season. Still really good though, really dominant player. So yeah, he's number 9. And number 8, I am sticking with his teammate, in fact. Wyatt Teller is the guy who, makes my list at number 8. So Browns have 2 really good guards. Browns have a lot of really good offensive linemen. And these are, 2 of the highlights for sure. As, I think Wyatt Teller's a really unique story of a guy who, was a 5th round pick, didn't do a lot for the Bills, but kind of was put in the correct position to succeed and was dominant right away for the Browns. And kind of similar to Quentin Nelson, he started off dominant and then hasn't quite been as dominant as of late, has still been really good and is still relatively young, 29, so not young, but younger than his teammates, Joel. So because of that, there's enough upside here. I'm still putting him at number 8. Number 7, going to the Dallas Cowboys with Tyler Smith, a guard who has played for 2 years and has played tackle as well. So it's kind of, where do you put him? Well, I think they want him at guard, so I'm putting him here at guard. 2 really good years. Very funny how, he's picked at 24th. It seems very rare, actually, that the guy that everyone says this was a dumb pick at 24 ends up turning out to be a smart pick. We just remember those more. But, Tyler Smith is definitely one of those examples of a guy that turns out the teams that the people that are paid to make football decisions made a good football decision. So he's number 7. And number 6, I'm sticking with his teammate. I didn't design it this way. It just kind of worked out this way. Zach Martin makes the list at number 6. Not coming off his best year, and again, 33 years old, so you also have that concern. But, I think it's fair to say, I think even in 2022, he wasn't quite as dominant as he had been in years past. Even with that, that's still like a fringe top 5 guard, like even with the not being as good. It used to be. I mean, again, I know PFF grades aren't everyone's cup of tea, but if you look at the run he had, he was top 5 graded guard for 8 consecutive seasons from 2014 to 2021. Every year he was at least the top in the top 5, and a lot of those years he was 1 or 2. So and then a couple 3, a 4 and a couple 5s. Like really just an incredible run. Hasn't quite been the same. He was PFF's 18th graded player last year, but that's still really good. I still think putting him here at 6 feels fair. Number 5, I'm going Tyler Linderbaum, the center out of Baltimore, someone who was drafted in, the first round, and it seemed like the knock on him was that, well, he plays center, and that's why people didn't want to draft him. Is it worth a center at pick 25? Well, yes, it is, and especially when it's a good center like Tyler Linderbaum, who has been really just kind of awesome for them and is still 24, has plenty of room to get better. So first center to make this list. He will not be the last center to make this list, but let's move on. Number 4 on my list is Joe Thuney, another guy who has just been kind of the model of consistency, where, since 2018, again, using PFF grades, he has been a top 10 guard each of those years. He was PFF's highest graded pass blocking guard. And let's be honest, in Kansas City, they want pass blockers, not run blockers, but he's still a good run blocker. He was the 21st highest graded run blocker at the guard position, but definitely pass blocking is why he got that huge contract. He certainly lived up to it. So yeah, he's number 4. Number 3 is Chris Lindstrom. He's actually the number 1 guard on this board, so the top 2 picks are centers. So if you were hoping your favorite guard would be selected, sorry, it's not happening. But yeah, I mean, Lindstrom's just been dominant at the guard position, and maybe I should have him higher because PFF has him as the highest graded guard each of the past 2 seasons. I mean, the guy's been unreal. The guy is dominant. I have no real reason to not put him at number 1 other than there were 2 guys I liked more. He's, one of the best in football, and definitely a guy who, when he's out there, it also helps out the rest of the offensive line because you don't have to help him out ever. You can help out the rest of the guys. So, yeah, he's number 3. Number 2, I'm going to Detroit for Frank Ragnow, a guy who, did get a little banged up last year, but was still PFF's highest graded center, and has had other years where, again, just using PFF grades because it's fun, it has been pretty consistently around top 5 when he's been healthy, and when he hasn't been healthy, he still put up those grades. It just hasn't worked out that way. Is someone who is PFF's number 1 graded run blocker as well, so, which for the Lions, that's, again, very much what they value. They value rushing the football. I also just feel like I've seen him, just watching the tape, he's definitely someone who can wow you. I think he might have more wow blocks than some of the other guys at the top of the list. I think you could argue Lindstrom's a bit more consistent, and I think the reason why I put my number 1 pick at number 1 is because I think he's a little bit more consistent. And that is Creed Humphrey, who has been in the league for 3 seasons now. So he's 24 years old, has been into the league for 3 years. He was, in his first year, Pro Football Focus's highest graded center. His second year, Pro Football Focus's highest graded center. This last year, Pro Football Focus's 4th highest graded center. What a down year for him. He's got to get back. I just think the consistency is so good with him. We haven't really seen a player be as consistent as we've seen Creed Humphrey be. So, definitely really good. Hey, Chiefs have multiple guys here. And honestly, Chiefs easily could have had 3 guys in the top 10. Trey Smith's really good too. Like he would have been on the short list. If I did top 15, he would have made the list. Chiefs interior, really good. Lions interior, really good. It's Graham Glasnow, another guy who could have made the list. There are a lot of guys that could have made the list, but you got to narrow it down to 10. Like Sam Cosmi, good player, could have made the list for sure. But yeah, these were the 10 I decided to go with. What do you think of this list? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.